Today, as I'm filming this video, Shari Franke's memoir has been released. This memoir is called The House of My Mother, A Daughter's Quest for Freedom. Shari is the eldest daughter of Ruby and Kevin Franke from the 8 Passengers YouTube channel. I've done a lot of videos on what happened. If you are interested, I will have it linked down below. But there was a Good Morning America interview with Shari Franke that was released today that I thought we could watch and react to together since I was covering the 8 Passengers family situation. Shari Franke has been very outspoken about being against family vlogging after what she went through being a part of the 8 Passengers channel. I think that more children that have been a part of family vlogging, as they grow up, there will be more speaking out against it like she is, because it's not a healthy family dynamic that even if you're not, you know, harming your children behind the scenes, the fact that you're filming everything that you're doing and all of your special moments, and it's like lights, camera, action, we need to get, you know, we need to do something for a juicy thumbnail because we need to get, I mean, once you start going down the rabbit hole of doing family vlogging, it's just a dangerous territory, I feel like. I think it's amazing that Shari Franke has been speaking out against that. Before we get into this video, I am not feeling well. I'm just gonna say that from the very beginning. So my energy levels will be low. And even though I would like to fake it until I make it as much as I can, I don't know how much of that I can do in this video, because not only is this topic really heavy, but I don't feel good. So with that being said, if I seem a little off in this video, that is why. Also, before we get into it, I will have my jewelry linked down below. I sell vintage jewelry over on my Depop, and I sell jewelry that I make over on my Etsy. Check them out if you would like to, but let's go ahead and get into it. Today we're gonna watch the video that she did with Good Morning America where they were asking her some questions. I do anticipate that there might be more of this interview that gets released perhaps than the clips that I'm currently able to react to, and if so, I will do a video about those as well. But let's go ahead and find these clips and watch them.
Sometimes I'll like see myself in the mirror and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I look like her or I sound like her, but I don't want to be anything like her.
That's got to be a very difficult position to be in as her daughter. I mean, she's got all the memories because that is her family. Like, that's what's so sad about this is, like, we can sit here and, like, you know, hear the details about what happened, but at the end of the day, like, that is her mom and will always be her mom, and she has to live with that, and that's very difficult. And, you know, her looking in the mirror and seeing, like, her mom's features when your mom is a monster, that's a very hard, you know, that's very hard. And I really feel for her.
When I was younger, around like 5, 6, like Ruby was really physical. Like, you know, whether it was like a slap to the lip or slap to the cheek. When I would practice the piano, you know, like her hand would slam and it was really scary. And honestly, when she met Jodi, that kind of stopped.
That's an interesting thing that she said, is that her mom was physical before she met Jodi, but then when she met her, it kind of stopped. So does that mean that in the beginning of, you know, them getting connected with each other, it probably seemed like a positive thing for the family? That's how these things usually start, and then they go downhill real quick.
Could you feel the shift when Jodi came into your family's life?
For sure, I could feel the shift. I was like, oh, Jodi, like, you know, I don't like her, but maybe this is one good thing. She's not yelling, she's not hitting us anymore, but it did become more psychological.
She was putting on a front for her because she was around so much. She was trying to put on a front that she didn't do those things. That's all it was. Because if in the beginning she stopped being physical when Jodi was there, I'm sure she would have been if she was gone. It's like she was just trying to look good to her from the very beginning.
In a way that was more damaging to me. I certainly got weird vibes from Jodi and Ruby. I don't think it's normal at all that a therapist would move into her client's home. I was moving out to college and I hadn't even like left the house yet, and she is in my room and in my bed. Ruby tried to be secretive about it, and so like I don't know all the details, but just the vibes that I was getting was that something was strange between them.
Okay, so we have heard details that Ruby and Jodi shared a bed, but now we're hearing that the bed that they were sharing was Shari's bed. The two of them were sleeping together in Shari's bed. That is so disturbing. And you know, they clearly had a thing for each other. Sorry, let me move that a second. It's bothering me. But they clearly had a thing for each other. I've seen lots of people speculating that they had a romantic relationship going on. And I feel that although this doesn't confirm it because she doesn't know for sure, she was definitely catching vibes that they had some sort of relationship going on.
In the book, Shari writing about messages between the two she says she found on Ruby's laptop that confirmed for me the truth about the nature of her relationship with Jodi and how it had spilled over into the physical. Ruby expressing her frustration about having to cater to Jodi's needs for physical affection without getting anything in return.
Were they romantically involved with each other?
I never saw anything specific.
You think they were more than friends?
I'm not sure.
I mean, tell me that does not confirm it. We already knew. It's not a surprise, but the fact that there were messages that were found where Ruby is talking about being frustrated that Jodi is wanting all this affection from her and she's not getting anything back. Oh my God. That's a whole other layer to this situation, I think, is that they had this romantic relationship going on behind the scenes as well. It's just, the whole thing's really disturbing. And it's interesting to me because it started out as like being Mormon, right? And I know that like their connections cult is like a separate thing with like all their made up rules to give them the excuse to be abusive. But it's interesting to me because everything that Ruby believed, like, isn't Mormonism against same-sex relationships? So it's fascinating to me that not only were they justifying being physical to children, but then they were also justifying their physical relationship that they had with each other. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm a bisexual woman. I think it's great. I'm just saying that, like, it's against what they believed in. So it's like they weren't even practicing what they were preaching.
Is it?
To my babies, my 6 little chicks, you were part of me.
Did you believe that she was a pop?
I think that she's as sorry as she can be. What she has done is so bad that I don't think her mind allows her to kind of fully comprehend the guilt of all. She probably genuinely believed everything she said. I don't believe it, though.
Is there anything that you would say to Ruby if you had the chance?
Probably tell her I'm happy without you. I was scared of her for so long, and I am pure without her approval.
Forgiven Ruby?
Forgiveness is something I've had to study a lot and kind of think about what it means. But for me, forgiveness would look like not letting that consume every moment of my life, all of my thoughts. I am just trying to move on with my life and trust that things are going to work out the way they're supposed to.
It's wild hearing from one of the Franke kids. It really is. I will be reading this book. I'm very excited to read it. And definitely go buy it because she deserves to make some money herself off of the crap that her mom put out there and dad put out there on the internet, because we all know how I feel about him. He gets slack that he shouldn't get. But let's all go support this book and read it and allow her to profit some off of the 8 Passengers channel, because that's the interesting thing, is that the kids from 8 Passengers didn't get anything. All the parents got all the money, which, I mean, at the end of the day, Ruby doesn't have any of it, but neither did they. So I think it's very important to support this book and to support the Franke children. I mean, maybe as the other ones get older too, they will also write some books, which will be very fascinating to read. It's really sad what these kids went through. You know, your mom is somebody that is supposed to love you unconditionally and take care of you, somebody that you're supposed to feel safe with. And it will forever break my heart that this is their mom, and what's done cannot be undone, and she can get up there and cry about her 6 little chicks all she wants to do. But I don't know. I worry for them, and, you know, if she gets contact with them or gets contact through her family that continue to speak to her, like her parents and stuff, that if there's communication like through that manner where she's like going through people to talk to them, that she's not still being manipulative from behind bars, you know, because I mean, even Warren Jeffs still has control over his cult behind bars. So I just hope that she doesn't have access to them. I definitely worry about her having access to them and sending messages to them because of the fact that some of her family still communicate with her, which is just insane to me that they would even take part in communicating with her at all, that they would even want to communicate with her after what she did to those poor children. And that really bothers me and will always bother me, because how could you hear about that and want to have anything to do with her? Especially considering, she has said that even though she pled guilty to certain things, she still puts blame on Jodi and says that she brainwashed her and all this stuff. And to me, I'm like, you got to take blame. You got to take the blame fully, because you are their mom. You're supposed to protect them. You're not supposed to let somebody come out of the woodworks and manipulate you into causing harm to your children. But I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it wasn't really that hard, because she was already doing it before Jodi even got there. Like, I've heard people say that they think that Ruby was a good mom before Jodi came into the picture. What do you have to say now? I don't know. I mean, I understand, that perspective of people feeling like maybe she wasn't as bad before Jodi, because some people haven't seen all of, the video clips and things that people have compiled together. I mean, it was clear that there was something wrong with her. I mean, I could feel the vibes through the screen even when she wasn't doing anything wrong. Nobody's going to just starve their 6-year-old. Like, it's unreal. So definitely let me know what you all think about this down below. Definitely check out my jewelry, which will be linked down below, and I will see you soon for another video.